Herring dart through clear blue water.
Herring. We call them watne. This rather small fish has a very big role to play. It's a keystone species here in the Pacific Coast. It's a source of food for other fish, but also for wolves, bears, eagles, and of course, people. That means, well, we better do a darn good job of looking after the herring stock. And that means gathering as much information as possible.
A commercial fishing boat floats in a bay.
So we're here in Mustang Bay. Can you tell me what's involved in the process that's taking these samples?
If we're lucky, we find a stock of fish that we could set on, and then we purse up, and we try not to catch too much because it's not our job to harvest, it's our job just to evaluate.
A large net is retracted into the boat.
Yeah, there's fish all over the bottom in here. Yeah. You see them here, see that line there, and then this. Yeah. And this. Yeah. And those are all going to come up.
He points to a red mass on an echo sounder. Later, a small boat drives from the fishing vessel.
The Windward Isle is a seine fishing boat. They use a smaller boat to take a large net out and circle the school. Then the net is tightened, driving the fish towards the center, where they're scooped up in a purse and brought on board. This way, they retrieve big sets of herring. But today is about big data. We're fishing for samples, collecting that data for the Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
So when you make a set like this, how many fish can you expect to catch?
In this area, there's a lot of fish this morning. We could have had a really big set, but we tried to disturb as little as we can while getting a proper sample.
49 number ones.
The goal is to better understand the population by determining age, sex, and the size of the samples, and to see if the herring are ready to spawn.
73 males.
Ocean School Jordan makes a note on a clipboard. A basket of herring is emptied.
All of these spawning right now?
Soon, I think. We'll have a better idea when the sample's over to see what percent they are.
Herring egg sacs are weighed on a scale.
Data of this kind is a newer tool from Western science to estimate the state of the overall stock. This data is collected from all over the Central Coast region. It's a big net, cast wide.
The sun glows on the waters beyond Mustang Bay. Later, a boat speeds along the coast.
But modern methods of modeling have their limitations. Is a big picture actually the complete picture?
A man in sunglasses sits at the controls.
Does big data tell us what's happening in each and every local area? Is what's happening in Mustang Bay necessarily the same in, say, Spiller Channel?
Jordan Wilson, Haíță zaqv Coastal Guardian Watchman. He stands on the bow of the boat with a net.
Frank, we have good depth all along here, about 13, 14 feet. Good depth all along here.
Herring jump from milky blue water beside a rocky shoreline.
We're getting spawning herring sample counts first so they can do some aging work, the age of the herring and the stocks there.
Alejandro Frid.
First Nations have always been saying that each individual spawning area has its own characteristics that differ from other spawning areas.
We have been here for thousands of years. We see how things change, or not, with our very own eyes. And our knowledge is built up over time, with each generation adding its observations and experience. Now, our Guardian Watchmen are working with scientists, adding our perspective by focusing on specific spawning spots.
Jordan throws a weighted net into the water.
So the work we're doing is providing the scientific language to express those differences in size and age between spawning areas.
Once again, we're fishing for herring samples, but this time on a much smaller scale.
The circular net opens before splashing into the water. Guardian Watchman Jordan pulls it in on a line.
Nice catch, yeah. That's what we're hoping for.
The wriggling fish are emptied into baskets.
From the previous 2 years of sampling, we know that fish in the Spiller Channel area have the slowest growth rates compared to fish that are more on the outer coast. So that would be consistent with what First Nations have been saying for a long time, that each individual spawning area has its own characteristics and therefore needs to be managed individually.
The silverfish writhe in the basket, a bay of pale green water.
The herring collected here in these small nets will be sent to a lab for more tests. This local data, alongside the big data, offers us a more complete picture. But it will also never lose its identity as being from these particular waters.
So you're basically fine-tuning your management very specifically to small geographic location. And that allows you to be much more precise in how you manage a fishery and how sustainable the use of the fish are.
A sustainable fishery. It's all about working together to protect the future. That's one constant for us, no matter the scale.
This just makes the science much better when you collaborate with people who have that long-term knowledge of place. And I think the synergy of the two is exactly what we need in a lot of the things we do, in our world right now.
The fishing boat cruises down the middle of a coastal channel.